Hello and welcome to B Shifter. John Vance, your host here today. Josh Blum and I will be listening to some radio traffic from two different fire departments in two different states. We'll go to Georgia, where we hear another rescue from the same fire department at the same apartment complex. And this time things do turn out very well once again. So another example of some great rescue radio traffic. Then we motor over to Arizona, where they have a fire department that doesn't have a dispatch center that actively participates on the tactical channel, and we'll show you how that fire department overcomes it. It's all this week on B Shifter. Let's get it going. Today we have more audio and kind of a potpourri of audio, if you will, from a couple of other departments. One we've heard from before, and the other kind of addresses a problem that some of our blue card users bring to us sometime on not having a dispatch center. But the first one we'll go to is an apartment fire, and it's going to sound a little familiar because they've had an apartment fire at the same apartment complex on the same street with the same IC, but this is a different fire.
Yeah, so this the first fire is coming from Cobb County. The first one was several months ago. It was the one where we worked through strategic shift. They had a tactical boss in place that they let companies work, for, a little bit longer than maybe they would have if they would have just had a strategic IC. But the advantage of having a tactical boss there was eyes a little bit closer to what was happening. So anyway, the fire there, a lot of us go to fires in the same complexes. So we're pretty familiar with these buildings and the layout and access and egress and hydrants and all of that. So we'll just take a listen to this one.
Radio units clearing your response. Engine 2, first due in. Engine 2, engine 54. Engine 7, engine 10, truck 19, truck 4, rescue 30, squad 7, battalion 2, battalion 5. Commercial fire 34, Osborne Road, Shepherd's Walk apartment. Complainant didn't know what was going on, just advised that there was a fire in the downstairs. He advised he was out of the building. We did get an additional caller. It sounded like there was alarm in the background, nothing further.
95 radio, upgrade responding units.
Clear, upgrade responding units.
Battalion 5 to responding units. There is a hydrant at the front of the complex. That's the only hydrant on the property.
Engine 2 radio.
Engine 2.
Engine 2's on scene. We do have some smoke showing. Looks like from the Charlie side. We've got occupants outside. Engine 2 will have Osborne Command. We'll be out doing a 360, preparing to pull a inch 3/4.
Clear, engine 2 on scene. Smoke showing. Charlie side. Occupants outside. Engine 2 has Osborne Command doing a 360.
Rescue 30 out with 2.
Clear.
Command to radio with a follow-up.
Command, go ahead.
And we're being told we've got one occupant still in the building here. Engine 2 is going to be going into rescue mode. The next due engine needs to perform fire attack.
Radio's clear. One occupant still in the building. Engine 2 is going to be rescue mode. Next engine will be fire attack.
Radio Battalion 5 is on the scene. Battalion 5 to command. Battalion 5 to radio. I'm going to go ahead and assume on Osborne Road command. We've got all hands rescue going on at this time. We've got light smoke showing from the alpha side. Looks like engine 2 is forcing entry. And I've got rescue 30 and possibly engine 30 on the scene. We're going to be in the offensive strategy. We've got several people evacuated here also.
Radio's clear. Battalion 5 has command. Lots of smoke from the alpha side. Engine 2 forcing entry. Rescue 30, engine 30 on scene. Offensive strategy.
Battalion 5 to radio. If you haven't already, balance the alarm. Make sure you got an ambulance en route.
Clear to balance the alarm.
Rescue 30.
Tower.
Rescue 30.
Rescue 30. Go ahead.
Rescue 30, prepare for medical on the alpha side.
Engine 54 to command. We're on scene. We've grabbed the hydrant. We're going to connect the water supply here for engine 2. 3 personnel.
Command is clear, 54. You're going to be water supply. You're reversing out to the hydrant.
Radio's clear.
Engine 7 is going to be level 1 with 3.
Tower.
Engine 30.
Squad 7, level 1 with 4.
And to engine 30.
30, go ahead.
Confirming you have fire attack off the side.
Fire attack off the side.
Clear.
So up to this point, quite a bit of stuff's happened. That initial company got there, gave a size up based off of, what they were seeing initially. And it sounds like as soon as they were out of the truck, they got, information of, reported person trapped. Multiple different times they said light smoke. which was, kind of lining up with maybe there wasn't significant fire. This organization sends, a pretty hefty response to a fire. So, companies are, piling on top of each other into there. They're all, going level 1. That battalion gets there. There was only one company that had said anything. So battalion very quickly transferred command, said they had it from the outside, and then started verifying, really checking off some objective pieces of you got a victim, making sure I got somebody going to do EMS, and then making sure that water supply got picked up. And then engine 30, it sounded like there was a second due engine there, just verifying that they were fire attack. So that this is just an example of, the first due company went into that rescue mode, known victim, but there was an engine company right behind them that was stretching a hand line to perform fire attack. It's the system all working together. And you could just tell, listening to the radio traffic, that the battalion and everybody else was on the same page.
We talk a lot about everything is acted out on the radio with Blue Card. We want the radio to be the place where assignments are given and for people to understand those assignments. And it sounded like the battalion chief got there, understood it was an all hands rescue. He said all hands are working on this rescue, but it was all position and function that he verified through seeing it. He saw where people were and he verbalized it then over the radio. So it was still acted out on the radio, even though he didn't get that standard transfer command report because things were so busy for that company. He recognized that and said, I can transfer it right here. I see what they are doing. I know what's going on. And it made it a transfer. So still everyone knew the position and function of everyone on that fire ground, even during a all hands rescue.
And the battalion carried out the incident action plan of that first due company officer, verifying, somebody picked up the hydrant. They talked about that. And then verifying that engine 30 became fire attack. That first due company officer said, we're going all hands rescue mode. Next engine, I need you to, take over fire attack. So the battalion just verified that indeed the incident action plan was verbalized over the radio and that all those things were taking place.
Command Engine 7. Engine 7. Deck opposite.
Squad 7, level 1. Squad 7's level 1 with 4.
You're Squad 7, you're level 1.
Tower.
Engine 10's level 1.
Tower.
Engine 2, command, priority traffic.
Command Engine 2, go ahead with your priority traffic.
We've located the occupant. We're going to work on getting them out the opposite side.
Clear, you have one victim coming out the alpha side. Break, Commander Rescue 30, are you clear? One victim coming out alpha side.
30 clear.
Radio's clear. One victim alpha side.
Command Squad 7 on deck alpha side.
Squad 7's clear on deck alpha side.
Command Engine 7, let's check on the second floor for extension, please.
Engine 7's clear. Extension second floor.
Command Engine 10.
Go ahead, command.
To the alpha side, assist Rescue 30 with medical.
10-4.
Clear 30 on scene.
Tower.
Truck 19 to command. We're approaching the scene. Do you have a spot for the aerial?
Negative, Truck 19, you're not going to have any aerial access, it looks like. Well, scratch that. You can go ahead and come to the alpha side here. You can nose into engine 30, which is going to be engine 86, and you could just park right there for now. I don't believe we're going to need you.
Truck 19 is clear. Alpha side. Nosing into 30.
Command the last unit.
This engine 30. Looks like the fire's coming out. We're going to start an overhaul this time in the kitchen.
Okay, Command Engine 30, it sounds like you were starting overhaul, is that correct? Do you have water on the fire?
Fire's out.
Okay, I'm clear Engine 30, fire's out.
Up to this point, first due company that went into, the all hands rescue mode, finds the victim, gives priority traffic, which was very clear on the radio. That gets everybody's attention, like what's going on here. So just like we always talk about in Blue Card, we say priority traffic because really it's two things. Either one, you can't complete a task, or two, you need some sort of assistance. And in this case, you found a victim. So there's a few things that need to happen with this. And it's really important that, everybody knows, hey, we found this victim. They're coming out the alpha side. That let the incident commander know, hey, make sure that you got the medical setup on the alpha side. He reinforced the company that was on the alpha side to do medical with another company to assist, and then still kept checking off the other objectives. Sent a company above the fire to make sure there was no extension, got a company on deck, and then got a second company on deck, and was still managing, those other companies that were coming in and level 1 staging. So again, back to it's a system and everybody's working within the system. The incident action plan was clearly communicated over the radio. Everybody on the incident knew what was going on. It doesn't sound like it was a significant fire, but there was enough fire that it was a problem for the victim. There was clearly a smoke condition. That company quickly got the fire under control. So you really, you checked off 2 objectives there. 1, you pulled the victim out. 2, that company's reporting that they got fire control.
I think this demonstrates, too, the importance of practicing communication and having an ongoing education plan for your companies, because this didn't sound foreign to anybody. They practiced it before. They put it into play before. We've heard them do that this shift, and here they are again doing it and doing it very well.
Engine 2 to command. Permanent water's been established.
Radio's clear, fire's out.
Command's clear, 54, you have permanent water. Command to Engine 2. Can report status of the patient.
Truck 19 on scene before.
Tower.
Engine 2 to command.
Engine 2.
Yeah, fire's out. Working on overhaul in the kitchen early. Got some smoke in the residence still. We're doing it right now. We'll need ventilation a little bit.
Okay, I'm clear. Confirming we have an all clear in the fire department, correct?
10-4.
Okay, I'm clear. Break, Commander Radio, we have an all clear and under control in the fire department.
Radio's clear, all clear and under control.
Command Engine 10, can you give me a status on the patient?
10-4, he's breathing. We're getting double lines in, about to push it in. Cyano kit.
Okay, I'm clear. He is breathing. You're about to give a cyano kit.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps this one up. They met their objectives, right? Fire control, got a primary all clear of the main fire unit, battalion up to dated the communication center of exactly what was going on. Got a CAN report from the companies that were providing EMS. And again, on this one, the company's forward thinking, and they give they're going to give that cyano kit for, patient that had been, exposed to smoke. So just forward thinking, working within the system. It wasn't foreign to them. It's really that muscle memory, right? So train. And, we hear it acted out here on this radio traffic.
All right, for this next one, we get comments back all the time from people who don't have dispatch centers that necessarily monitor tactical channels or even acknowledge size ups. And here's a workaround this department's done. What can you tell us about them, Josh?
Yeah, so it's Sierra Vista, Arizona Fire Department. And I don't know all the details on the dispatch center, but the bottom line of it, the battalion, handles and plays that role of dispatch, following the order model and acknowledging the initial radio report and communicating with the company. So I think it's one of those cases where dispatch sends the units, but beyond that, dispatch isn't really playing a role in what's happening on the fire ground. And they're not the only ones. I mean, there's some very large fire departments in the United States and the state of Texas that dispatch the units, and then that's all they're doing. Then the battalion handles all the communications after the units are dispatched. So this is just a little bit of a workaround, and maybe not ideal, but they make it work. So we'll take a listen to it.
Battalion 203, engine 201. Go ahead with your size up. We're not on scene yet, but we have smoke showing. Call this a working fire.
Okay, copy. You got the thermal column on the horizon. We'll call it a working fire.
Battalion 203, engine 201.
Go ahead, engine 201.
Engine 201's on scene, side alpha. Small, single-story, single-family. We got smoke showing from the swamp cooler and the Charlie side eaves. Engine 201 is going to have command. Command's going to be forward, working in the offensive strategy. We do not have a water supply stretching an attack line. Stand by for 360.
Okay, copy. You're on scene, side alpha, small, single-story, single-family, working fire at the swamp cooler, Charlie side, stretching line. Establish command, forward mode, offensive strategy, standing by for 360.
Engine 201, Medic 204, we're on scene. Medic 204, this is command. You're going to be medical. You're going to maintain your own accountability.
Medic 204 copies will be medical. Will be our maintain accountability.
Battalion 203, command.
Go ahead.
No access to the backyard, 360 not complete. Engine 201 going interior
Part 3, no change to the IAP.
Engine 1330, hold. Break engine, command, this is Battalion 203.
Go ahead, Battalion 203.
Sam, I'm seeing on the Alpha side. I've got you in the offensive strategy, making a stretch to the Alpha side. 360 not complete. No water supply. You've entered on the Alpha side, Part 3. You've got Medic 204 as medical. If that's correct, confirm and give me a can.
Yeah, that's affirmative. We made entry into the kitchen. Looks like we got a kitchen fire. We got a initial knockdown at this time.
Okay, copy. You made entry to the kitchen. Working fire in the kitchen. You have initial knockdown. I'm going to go ahead and take command from out here, put you back at engine 201 status. Units on the fire ground. This is Battalion 203. I've assumed Shabundy command. Command is going to be fixed on the Alpha side. We're going to continue in the offensive strategy. Engine 1330, command. Go ahead. 1330, you're going to remain engine 1330. Come forward, perform booster backup, give engine 201 your tank water. I want you to pull a second line off of engine 201 to the Alpha side. And I want, if you can continue with a 360, there was no access, but we need to secure utilities. You're going to hold your accountability on engine 201.
All right, I copy. I'll move forward, provide water from the tank, 360, and I'll take care of utilities.
And engine 203, stage plug east.
Engine 203. Why don't you go ahead and lay in to engine 1330. Spot your rig out of the way. Bring your personnel forward onto the Alpha side. You guys are going to be on deck.
Engine 203 copies. We're going to lay supply in 1330. We'll be on deck. We'll need accountability, and I'm going to have to cross north, so we need PD to shut down north end.
Okay, I copy that. Let's hold off on actually laying in at this point. We might have a pretty good knock on the fire. We might be okay with just take water.
Command engine 203 copies. We'll hold on water. We'll come in on scene. Go on deck.
In this case, there's a lot going on, without dispatch playing the role. And if you really listen to it, it's like you can understand where dispatch can really fit in and help us. But I don't know that they have drivers down there, but if you're the battalion and you're inbound, you're not there yet, to give that kind of follow-up report, engaging with that engine company that was established in command, I mean, that was pretty impressive in itself. The initial radio report from that first 2 company was good follow-up report, assigned a single company. The battalion got there, still transferred command, so everybody knows what's going on. Incident action plans clearly communicated over the radio. And then the order model, throughout the whole thing, they were really following the order model, which I think's really good, because in that case, there's so much going on. I think it's easy to speed up and not do some of those best practice things. But clearly, this is their system, and that's what they have to work with, and they train within the parameters that they have to work. So, here we have an example where it worked out.
Yeah, they made a commitment to doing it, and they did it. Not always are you going to have the best practice system. So not always are you going to have a dispatch center that monitors your tactical channel, or not always are you going to have a driver or a FIT or an embedded safety officer. So you make those deployment, you can call dispatch part of deployment. In this one, command function number 1, we don't have a full dispatch center. So they really made do with it, and very impressive what this BC did on that scene.
And I think it just comes back to, what we practice is what we're really going to end up doing. And here, they practice it, they clearly reinforce it, and they're making it work. It doesn't mean that it's, best practice, but it's what they have to work with, what they have available. And then they need to just strive and work towards, continuing to do better to, at some point, get to best practice. And not to talk about this one as much, but to talk just about the whole big picture of Blue Card. So many people think that Blue Card is such a rigid system, and it's not. It's really pretty flexible. And John, you just said it. It starts with deployment, command function 1, and we've hit that 100 times on the podcast over and over and over again, that almost every fire department in the United States is different when it comes to deployment. How many people can you get there? How many people do you even have available? What's your real capability? What's the capability of the dispatch center? All of those things, have to line up. So that's where people have to make adjustments to the system to see what works for them. And, we have, again, very, very large fire departments that are sending 70 people to a 1,500 square foot house on fire. And we have fire departments that are sending 6 people to a house on 1,500 square foot house on fire, and then they don't get 6 more people for 10 or 15 minutes. And where that all lines up is we still have to use the strategic decision-making model, go through the 8 functions of command, talk about critical fireground factors, manage a strategy, communicate the incident action plan, all of those pieces of the system, and just apply it to what you really have available within your jurisdiction. So Blue Card isn't the rigid system that some people make it out to be. It's really very flexible.
I did not hear in either of these Mother May I once, and these companies were thinking company officers that initiated actions, let their IC know those actions that were being initiated. In one case, it was a rescue, and it sounded like it was a successful rescue with somebody with 2 IV lines and getting a cyano kit. That's a big deal, right? I mean, that's somebody with smoke inhalation. They did their jobs, and they did it through being organized and everyone doing their tasks as they needed to do on the fire ground. We record this in a variety of places, and I want everyone to know Josh and I are on an airplane right now. You can hear the jet engines in the background. No. We're in a Sheraton in Minnetonka, Minnesota. But there's huge refrigerators going off in the background. So if it sounds like we're on an airplane, we're just hanging out at the Sheraton. But we'll go to wherever we have to record this, right, Josh?
We record wherever we are. We're mobile. We have a mobile facility or mobile capability, and now we have a very nice fixed facility at the AVB CTC in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes. All right, Timeless Tactical Truth. Going to shuffle the deck here. We have 52 Timeless Tactical Truths from Alan Brunacini, and today, out of the deck, we draw the Jack of Hearts. And you can get these decks, by the way, at the B Shifter store. Anyway, the Jack of Hearts. Any organization that saves standard command stuff for the big one is setting itself up for a cluster situation. Again, any organization that saves standard command stuff for the big one is setting itself up for a cluster situation.
If we're not doing things routinely, regularly, really every single time and practicing it, it's not going to work when we try to make it work on the big one. And, we hear that, around here, there, whatever. We don't do all that command shit. That's what people say. We don't need all that. We make it work. And, the truth is, I always tell people, you don't get to decide when you're going down the street when to put your seatbelt on. You better just have your seatbelt on. It doesn't work like that, right? I mean, it's just the same thing with command. We go through that process every single time we pull up on an incident. Initial radio report, evaluate critical fireground factors, follow-up reports. Sometimes we hear we don't do a 360 on fire alarms. Well, if you don't do 360 on fire alarm, you ain't doing a 360 at 3 o'clock in the morning on a working fire. It just lines up that what we do all the time gets done all the time.
Standard conditions, standard action, standard outcomes is one of our big tenets here. Same thing goes for all the different parts of the command functions and the way we operate. I've been to some departments that say we only do the air management policy when we're in a commercial structure. We don't mess with it on residential because we can get right out. Well, we all know that when you apply residential tactics to commercial structure fires, what happens? And we see the same thing happening if you're only going to establish command and go through all the command functions only on the big one or only when you have smoke showing. You're not going to do it on a regular basis. That's why we encourage our company officers, whether it's an automatic fire alarm or an investigation for a smell of smoke, they're still doing a standard size up. They're still doing a 360. They're looking at all sides of that building before they go in, hopefully. And if they can't, somebody else is completing that. And we do that command functions the same we would for any working fire. And I think we've talked about it on the podcast before. I know with Grant Light and talking about rescues and stuff. This is applicable to all kinds of incidents. It doesn't just have to be fire. We are using Blue Card to manage our everyday incidents every day, whether it's a car accident out on the interstate, a large scale medical event, whatever it is, we're applying Blue Card to that.
And some people confuse incident command with there has to be some big organization or somebody showed up in a staff car or you're building out this, tactical capability with chiefs and sectors or divisions. And it's not that. That first due company officer is fulfilling that role of strategic, tactical, and task level when they're mobile, when they're first arriving. So that is incident command. And, far too often, if we miss that and it's screwed up from the beginning, it's going to end up being screwed up in the end. We just never catch up. So incident command starts with that first due company officer getting there, giving a size up, evaluating critical fire ground factors, using a strategic decision-making model, figuring out what strategy we're going to end, developing an incident action plan, and then, taking action.
And that wraps up this Bee Shifter. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's program, we invite you to make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and tell a friend. That's how we end up growing the podcast, is by word of mouth. And we really appreciate you listening. If you have any comments for us, please find our information in the show notes so you can reach out to us and possibly even give us your radio traffic so we can share it with the rest of the Bee Shifters. Until next time, thanks so much for listening.